Discuss that and the articles of impeachment that still have not been sent to the Senate for trial. Another missile fired at a U.S. military facility in Iraq's Green Zone overnight. ABC's Ian Pannell is in Iraq.
I'd say slight easing of tensions here, although with this latest rocket strike, we're not in the clear just yet. And for U.S. troops, I think real dangers remain.
There are a lot of questions that remain about the Ukrainian jet that went down shortly after takeoff from the airport in Tehran. Some believe photos appear to show a hole blown in the plane from the outside in. Iran denying its anti-aircraft systems may have shot down the jetliner, killing all 176 people on board. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Good morning, 7:31. Coming up a little bit later on, we'll check in with California news. And right now, time to talk food with our favorite grocery gal, Amy Goldsmith. Amy's helped to launch and grow some of the most well-known brands that many of us eat or at least see on the grocery shelves daily. You can follow her and her antics on Instagram at The Grocery Gal, where she reviews new products and gives us a glimpse into her crazy life as a food finder. Amy, welcome back and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. How are you?
I'm doing good. How was your New Year?
It was great. It was good. I'm ready to start a new year. You know what they say, new year, new you, and I'm ready.
All right.
I'm ready.
Yeah. So what are you doing for the new year? What is your focus?
Well, I should say I've certainly recommitted to better eating habits and a better exercise regimen since the first of this year. I'm usually really diligent and pretty good, and by the last quarter of 2019, I got a little sloppy. So I'm ready to recommit, and I'm ready to go. And I was doing some research on the best way for me to recommit. And you know what I learned then?
What's that?
That Americans eat 800,000 square feet. 800,000 square feet of pizza every day.
Wow, that's a lot of pizza.
Every single day. And I looked it up to try and put it in perspective because I don't really understand what 800,000 square feet is. We all know about an 1,800 square foot home or 2,000 square foot home. Like, what is 800,000 square feet? So that's actually the size of Buckingham Palace.
Whew. Wow.
It's about 1.5 times as big as a polo field. And it's about half as large as the Pentagon. So we eat 800,000 square feet of pizza every day, half the size of the Pentagon.
Oh, my gosh. That puts it in perspective. So I know people start their diets usually right on January 1st, but, how do you pick one? It seems there's so many diets. Any advice for us?
Yeah, well, first of all, I really don't like to use the word diet because the word die is in there. And I don't think that we should all be trying to reach to die fit, So I like to, talk about maybe making a lifestyle change and really not beating ourselves up. Look, first of all, every day is a new day. So if you commit to eating better or even, dieting, if that's the word you want to use, and you mess up, you can start over at the very next meal or the very next day. You never have to give in. You don't have to wait till a Monday to start. You can start on the next meal. And it doesn't have to be a hard starting date and a hard ending date. It's just a commitment to a healthier lifestyle, healthier eating, or less of whatever it is that you choose. So you got to stop beating yourself up.
Yeah, no kidding. So any other tricks to keep in mind? I think maybe a lot of people try to do too much maybe to begin their diets.
I agree. And, you really have to do what's best for you. And for example, I started, the New York Times right now has a 7-day stop eating sugar challenge. And that's what sort of kick-started me. And I've committed to trying it, and it's actually working for me. It hasn't been that hard. It's been very minor changes, not eating sugar in the morning. So, staying away from breads and cereal, which really isn't that big of a deal. It's really about, not drinking your sugar, like sodas and fruit juices, which sometimes I tend to do in the middle of the day. It's maybe having my coffee or my tea without honey or sugar in it. So it's just those little kind of minor changes that aren't, huge, but in the end add up and can make a big difference. And for me, we've talked about it on the show, it's really important when you're in the grocery store, one easy commitment that you can make is to shop the perimeter of the store. That's where the fresh fruit are, the vegetables, the fish, the meat. All the aisles in the center of the store are processed food. They come in packaging, even the bread. So, and the cereal. Those typically means added sugar. So if you can shop the perimeter of the store and stay away from the middle, you can, instead of putting your turkey and Swiss cheese sandwich on bread, put it on lettuce. Put it on iceberg lettuce. You can still add your mustard and a little mayo if you want, but just stay away from some of the breads. And I'm not advocating a low-carb diet. I'm just saying stay away from processed, food and sugar as a place. That's something you feel like a place to start.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Matter of fact, if you're trying to maybe cut out bread and some of those other items, maybe start by not doing it a few days a week or something like that.
Exactly. You don't need, no pun intended, to bite off more than you can chew. A little bit. And that's why I talked about it being a lifestyle change. I'm talking about sugar. That's going to be a really big discussion this year in terms of food trends, is sugar and plant-based. But what I just want to say is let's just pay attention to how much sugar, how much salt is in our diets. I'm going to say, read the label.
Of course,
but
yeah.
Really, fruit is supposed to be sweet. I mean, as humans, fruit is supposed to be sort of decadent sweet for us. But like a strawberry for us is not that sweet anymore. And that's because we have just so much sugar in our diet. So we kind of need to get back to that, where a strawberry is just so sweet and juicy and becomes a treat. One other trick I have is, I try and plan meals and exercise. I actually put on my to-do list, I have a daily calendar with a daily to-do list, exercise. And whether that's walking around the block, it's movement. It doesn't have to be exercise, it's movement. And it's a little bit more movement than I do sitting at my desk every day. And then on Sunday nights, I'll make a giant salad, and I'll put in a huge Tupperware, giant salad with peppers and carrots and onions, whatever you like to put in salad. Big, like my kids call it a big garbage salad, and just put everything in there.
Yeah.
And I don't put dressing on it, and I just pull from that all week, so I don't have to worry about it every single day. So at lunchtime, I can pull it, put it in a Tupperware, bring it to the office. At dinner, I can pull it out, and we can have that, and I don't have to worry about making a salad. It just gets that vegetables in at the very beginning is already done, and it's very easy.
Yeah, very true. I think for anything that's going to be hard and involving a lot of work and preparation, people probably aren't going to do it. So that's actually good advice to do that salad on Sunday.
Just one big one.
Definitely. We have Grocery Gal Amy Goldsmith joining us this morning. So are there any good places to start if you're looking at changing some of your eating habits, maybe making some minor changes?
Yeah, I mean, there's something that you're going to start hearing a lot about called the principles of intuitive eating. And you're going to start hearing a lot about that if you haven't heard about it already. And it's sort of what I've already been talking about, which is just making minor lifestyle changes, not beating yourself up. And it's intuitive eating, so it's rejecting the diet mentality and starting to listen to your body and remembering what it feels like to be hungry. Like, oh, I'm hungry, I need to go eat. Oh, I'm full, I need to stop eating. And just sort of making peace with food and abandoning the idea of good and bad food and that there's forbidden foods. It's really about moderation. It's about, the minor lifestyle changes and about respecting your body and respecting who you are and enjoying feeling the difference of maybe better eating or a better lifestyle. And again, as I was saying, just a little bit, just a slight little bit of a lifestyle change where, you know what, I'm going to go for a walk around the block today. And then maybe next week it's, 2 blocks. And before you know it, maybe you're up to 3 blocks, and that's where you're going to stick, but you're doing 3 blocks more than you did a month ago.
Sure.
And that's huge. You need to celebrate that. You really, really do. But if you want to go on a more structured plan, there are a ton of weight loss programs. The number one in the world continuously is the Mediterranean diet. And it emphasizes fruits and olive oil and vegetables and fish or lean protein. And it also includes a glass of wine. And it really emphasizes eating with friends and family. And to be honest, I consider this more of an intuitive diet. It's shopping the perimeter of the store. It's enjoying your meals. It's, not beating yourself up about food. And it's again, more of a lifestyle. There's also Weight Watchers now called WW, and you have to be accountable to your points and keep track of everything, and it works. There's the Zone diet, vegan, paleo, keto, blood type diet. You just have to do a little bit of research and determine which structured weight loss program is best for you and actually what works for you. And again, I think a great place to start is just a minor lifestyle change and not making it so drastic.
Yep, and of course, reading the labels. You've been a big advocate of that, but that's so important. And I think there was a new rule that took effect at the beginning of the year where there's more information on those food labels.
Correct. So there's more information on the food labels, and it's showing now where added sugar is. So, not all sugars are created equal. You want sugar from fructose, which is natural sugar from a fruit. And some fruits have higher sugar, like grapes and watermelon have higher amounts of sugar than, let's say, an apple or berry. So traditionally, if you can stay closer to the apple berry side, that's great. But nonetheless, those are all natural sugars. Obviously, high fructose corn syrup is bad for you. It's processed. It's full of chemicals, and it's known to add extra pounds and not be good for your health. So you want to stay away from that. And you want to pay attention to the added sugar, which you mentioned on the new label. That will tell you what kind of basically cane, white, brown sugar, added sugar, scoop of sugar has been added to that food product. And again, you're going to find mainly those in the middle center store aisles.
All right. I guess the important thing here, Amy, is you've been telling us about, eating those foods that are so important to us, but it doesn't sound like, if we're trying to lose weight, that we can do it alone with changing our diet. It also involves exercise.
Yeah, I mean, you want movement. It's good for your heart. It's good for your overall wellness. It's good for your brain. You want to get some movement in there. I'm not saying everyone needs to go and run a marathon. You just want to move. You want to set some goals for yourself. If you have a Fitbit or something, you want to goal how many steps you're taking. You can also use your iPhone. There's a health button on there, and it'll tell you how far you've walked or moved every day. And if you want to keep track of that, or it keeps track for you, really, you can monitor every day and maybe outdo the day before. But you just want to get some movement in. Again, I'm not saying you need to, run up a hill, but you just want to get some movement in and lead a less sedentary lifestyle. It's better for your arteries, your heart, your lungs, your brain, your overall mental health and well-being. And a good rule of thumb is a fist in terms of serving sizes. If you make a fist, it will help you determine how big those portions should be. And typically when we're in a restaurant, we're getting 3 fists of food. And so you want a fist of pasta, a fist of vegetables, or 2 fists of vegetables, and a fist of protein. And so if you go to a restaurant, sometimes the best thing to do is just half the plate and say, "Can I take that to go?"
All right, there you go. Yeah. Good advice. All right, we've been speaking to Grocery Gal Amy Goldsmith. And by the way, you can follow her and her antics on Instagram at The Grocery Gal, where she reviews new products and gives us a glimpse into her crazy life as a food finder. I feel inspired talking to you this morning, talking about the new year and some great new eating habits and exercise. So, Amy, we'll do it again next week.
Perfect. And I want you to keep track then of how far you've been walking on a daily basis, and I'm going to check in with you.
All right. The heat is on.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Heat is on. Have a great week of walking.
All right, sure will. That's Amy Goldsmith. Don't forget birthdays and anniversary wishes. 928-1440 is my number.
Come on down to Shumash Casino Resort to win a new Cadillac Escalade, plus a luxury Cadillac CT6, and ooh la la, a fabulous AMC Gremlin, the Cadillac of Clunkers. Play with your membership card to earn entries into the prize drawing worth over $150,000 January 26th. It's the incredible 2 Cadillacs and a clunker, only at Shumash Casino Resort. Vehicles provided by Home Motors and